Faye then pressed a little button on a controller she held in her hand. In front of the generals and the other sergeants, a holographic report was being displayed to them. "I believe you have all read the reports, but this is here just for your reference. I would like to ask your opinion on how these students should be punished, General Duke."
"Punished?" Duke said. "I see no reason for these students to be punished. If you look at the report, it seems like Vorden was the first to attack the others. They were simply retaliating. These types of things happen all the time."
"But then why gather the rest of the first-year students?" Nathan casually added. "It seems like to me other students have gotten involved. I agree the students fight all the time, and we purposely do nothing to stop this, but this seemed a little too much, no?" "Fine. Further restrictions will be put on the second-years and first-year students. They shall only meet when necessary. I will be in charge of issuing punishments to the second-year students. Is that okay with you, Nathan?" Nathan simply shrugged as if he really didn't care about the matter in the first place. He had only made his argument to annoy Duke. "I urge the rest of the sergeant to take extra precaution," said Faye. "It was only recently that we had the death of a student in our school. Unlike Brandon, Vorden is an original. If his family was to get involved in it, would not be good for the academy."
"Filth,"
Duke said under his breath. The military didn't have a good impression of originals. When the war started, they were the ones who risked their lives to save the people of the planet. It wasn't until it truly looked like the humans would lose the war did the originals come forward and share their power with everybody, and not even all of them did that. Then Haley stood up. "I would like to talk about the matter involving the two students with strange wounds on their bodies. Were there any reports about a beast escaping from one of the portals?"
"Your father, who is not present at the moment, reported that there was no such thing. Even using the radar, we were unable to trace anything," Duke replied.
"If it wasn't the beasts, then just what caused those wounds?" Haley thought, as she sat back down in her seat.
"How is the preparation for the portal outing coming along for the first-year students?" Leo asked.
"Yes, everything has been all set up," Nathan said. "A green portal has been selected for the students to go through, and the base has made preparations for their arrival. It should all go smoothly next week."
"Do you know what planet the expedition will take place on?" Leo asked. "Then I will be able to better prepare my students."
"It's best to ask your students to pack some sun cream and their sunglasses, as they will be arriving on the planet Kaladi," Nathan replied. Planet Kaladi, a planet that was mostly covered in desert and contained low-tier beasts. Its day cycles were also vastly different compared to that of Earth. Instead of the 24-hour day and night cycle that Earth had, Kaladi contained a 72-hour cycle. It was brilliant for those that loved the sunlight and heat. After the incident with second years, Quinn realized that although he had gained a lot of strength compared to what he was before, there were still others that he wasn't strong enough to fight against. Although Momo was strong in the group of second years, he was nowhere near the top of the food chain. There were many higher levels and even originals, whose powers couldn't be measured. And even out of the first-year students, there were those that were powerful. That included his good friend Vorden and Aaron. If Quinn wished to get on their level, he would have to get stronger. The easiest way for him to get stronger was by consuming as many different types of blood as he could possible. But there was a major problem. After the death of Brandon and the second-year incident, security around the academy had been tighter than ever. More soldiers were put on patrol, and it seemed like they were keeping an eye on everyone. For now, while tensions were high in the academy, it was best that he laid low. So that left him with another option to improve his fighting skills. Quinn still hadn't learnt the two skills yet, but just learning them wasn't going to be enough. After watching Vorden, he realized he needed to also learn how to use them, so he needed experience. "Hey, I'm going to head into town to grab some supplies. Do you want to come with me?" Vorden asked. Quinn hesitated for a while. Originally, he had planned to meet up with Layla to practice the hammer strike, but at the same time, he hadn't been able to relax in a while. In his last school, Quinn had never made any friends and was the lonesome type, but now was his opportunity to go out and have some fun. One day wouldn't hurt, right? "Yeah, sure, I'll come along," Quinn replied. "What about you, Peter?" Vorden asked. Peter had been avoiding the two of them for a while, but since they were roommates, it was almost impossible. He still felt bad about the whole situation, but he had finally made up his mind. He never wanted to do anything like that again. "Yeah, I'll come as well." The three of them then proceeded to head into town. They went ahead and grabbed some food, watched a movie, and had a good laugh, but as they were outside, Peter spotted a group of high-level first-years he had met before. They were the same people who Peter had hung out with at the canteen. As Peter had made eye contact with the group, they had signaled to him they wanted to talk. "Hey guys, I just remembered that I promised to meet up with a few people from school tonight," said Peter. "It was great hanging out with you guys, but I'll see you when you get back to the dorm." Vorden looked at Quinn, realizing that they both thought Peter's words sounded suspicious. "Hey, Peter, if you know something is up, tell me. I'll help you out," Vorden said. "No, it's nothing, I promise. I really did make some good friends. I have to rush off now. Bye, you guys," Peter said as he took off out of sight of the other two. No matter what, Peter didn't want an incident like last time to happen. He would deal with the problems himself. Vorden was strong, but from the fight last time, clearly Vorden wasn't strong enough to handle the upper ears, and Peter knew they were the ones behind everything. Peter finally turned a corner into an alleyway where 5 first-year students were patiently waiting. "Took you long enough." The student standing in front of the group had a scar on his chin, and his name was Earl. He was the leader of the first-year group who was directly under Momo's gang. Then, suddenly Earl went and grabbed Peter, throwing him up against the wall. "What the hell do you think you were doing calling the teacher the other day?" Earl said. "Now Momo and the others are giving us a hard time for relying on you." He then punched Peter in the stomach, causing him to kneel over and fall to the ground. "Why should we be the ones to be punished? This is all your fault." Earl ran up and kicked Peter once again in the stomach. The kick was hard, and Peter's body was starting to shake. He felt like any second now he was going to throw up the ice cream he had just eaten with the other two. Earl walked over to Peter and bent down to grab his hand. He held one of Peter's fingers and snapped it back hard and fast. At the same time, a scream was heard. "What the hell? Gag this wimp, will you?" One of the students then ripped a part of his shirt and shoved it into Peter's mouth. "Now, we have another job for you, Peter, and you better do it right this time, you understand? Just nod if you agree." Peter then shook his head. He had already decided that no matter what, he would never betray Vorden or Quinn again. "What, are you saying no?" Peter then nodded, giving his answer to Earl. The vein on the side of Earl's head was now popping out as the anger inside him grew. A lowly first-year student dared to go against him, and he, a level 4 student, had to work under someone else? This wasn't the life he was expecting to have at the academy, and he needed to take out his anger somehow. Earl then immediately grabbed Peter's fingers and started to snap them one by one. Each time he would break a finger, he would ask Peter if he was willing to help them, but each time Peter shook his head. In the end, all 5 of Peter's fingers had broken, and Peter still hadn't agreed to their request. "Hey, Jerry, get over here!" Earl shouted. One of the first-year students standing behind Jerry came over and knelt down. "Do your thing, Jerry." Then Jerry placed his hand on top of Peter's, and slowly a warm feeling was felt, and the bones in Peter's fingers were starting to take shape. They reformed to what they once were, and he had been healed. Then a big smile on Earl's face could be seen. He grabbed Peter's fingers again and repeated the process again and again. Eventually, after an hour had passed of breaking, hurting and rehealing Peter's mind had given in. Without him realizing it, he no longer wanted to feel the pain and nodded, agreeing to their request. "Good. See now, if you had done that in the first place, we wouldn't have had to go through all that," Earl said. "Now this time, you better do it right, and be sure not to involve anyone."
Subscribe to the Pocket FM Blockbuster YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notifications. Check out our channel for more exciting shows.